Hey guys, today it is time for my first low buy update of the year. I cannot believe how quickly this first quarter of 2023 flew by, but I wanted to share with you all the products that I've purchased so far this year, how much I've spent, how I'm doing with the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. I'll go ahead and leave my low buy intro linked down below if you want to hear more about my thought process for this year's low buy. This year my biggest focus was setting purchase limits for every category of makeup. So depending on the category, I set a different cap for how many items I would allow myself to buy in that category this year. So some categories the cap was 5, some it was 3. Really just depended on how many things I already own in that category, how quickly I use those things up to determine how many I'd be comfortable buying this year. I also had a couple categories that were just replacement only. My other goal was to just spend no more than $1,000 on makeup for the entire year. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and share how much I've spent so far on makeup. In quarter one, I spent a total of $125 on makeup. So not too shabby. We're definitely on track to stay well under my budget for the year. I would actually love to spend less than $1,000, but at this rate, I'm on track to only spend $500 this year. That would be fantastic. So let me go ahead and share with you all of the purchases that I made in quarter one. So my first purchase was at Fred Meyer. It's one of my favorite places to shop for drugstore makeup. This purchase was on January 7th. I bought 2 items, and this was shortly after the news of a couple of new brands becoming cruelty-free, at least according to some sources. We won't get into all that right now. I did a video talking about my thoughts on that. I actually did 2 videos talking about my thoughts on that, so if you want to hear more, check those out. But I purchased 2 new Wet n Wild products. This is my first time buying from Wet n Wild in a very long time, but I got their Color Icon 10-pan palette in the shade Call Me Sunshine. Been loving this. And then the other item I purchased from Wet n Wild was their lipstick in the shade Skinny Dipping. I've also been loving this. This is such a great light, cool toned nude color. Been wearing that a lot this year. So that purchase came out to a grand total of $8. Unbelievable. So the palette was $5, the lipstick was about $3. So that was my first purchase of the year. So far, really happy with both of those products too. I feel like they were great purchases. The next purchase was at Walgreens, which was actually the next day. The other brand that was part of that cruelty-free announcement was Physicians Formula, and I had been wanting to try this foundation, the Butter Believe It foundation, so I went and picked it up at Walgreens. I could have gotten it at Fred Meyer, but all of the ones at Fred Meyer looked really separated. So then I went to Walgreens because I knew they had this product too, and those also looked separated. So then I looked it up, and according to other reviews that I read on different blogs of this product, it seems like that's just kind of how this product is. This foundation just separates easily, so you just want to shake it up and it's totally fine. I was worried that they had gone bad, but it seems like that's just how this foundation is across the board. So went ahead and bought it at Walgreens, and that purchase was $15. So I think I paid basically full price for it, and I got the shade Fair in that. This is I'm actually wearing a lot of these products today. This is what I have on my face mixed in with another new product that I'll share in just a moment, but I'm loving this foundation so much. It is more matte than I typically go. It's kind of like a satin matte, but it definitely leans matte, but I don't find it drying on my skin at all. It doesn't enhance dry patches or texture. It's really high coverage, but it just looks so good on my skin. It's very smoothing, perfecting. Great one for special occasions, I think, because it also has great staying power. So that has also been one of my favorite purchases of the year so far. My next purchase was from Fred Meyer. Again, this was at the end of January, and I just went to pick up a replacement of my favorite. It's getting to be rush hour. You know what that means. I really need to try not to film at this time of day, but this is just prime filming time for me. So anyway, I went to Fred Meyer to pick up a replacement of my favorite Kokie lip liner. This is the Kokie liner in the shade Nude. I guess I kind of picked it up a little prematurely because I still haven't finished my previous one, but I got it because I was almost out of my other one. This is almost done. Can see there, that's all that's left. So that'll be done in a few days, and then I can crack into this new one. Probably could have waited to buy a replacement because 2 months went by and I still hadn't finished the old one. But I was there picking up a couple of these to give to a friend because we were exchanging makeup, and I figured I'd go ahead and pick one up for myself as well. So that was $6. Excited to crack open a brand new one of that. My next purchase was on Valentine's Day, and that was the day that the Oden's Eye Perfect World collection launched. So as soon as I saw these palettes released, I knew I was going to pick up the Lauren May Beauty one. This is the SeaTalk palette. Main reason being that I'm a huge fan of Lauren May Beauty. I love her so much, and I love her makeup style as well. When I saw this color story, I just fell in love. I just think it's such a great mix of neutrals and shimmers, and this has not disappointed at all. This is what I'm wearing today. This, I mean, look at the shimmer on my lid right now. That's this taupe shade, Smoky Pearl. It is so sparkly. I also have a little bit of the mint shade on my lid. You can't really see it, but I also have that shade in my inner corner. I feel like every single time I use this palette, I put that mint in my inner corner. Anyway, I've done several looks with this. I've filmed and posted 2 shorts here on YouTube with tutorials using this, so if you want to see a couple of looks that I've done, those are on my shorts tab. But really happy with this purchase as well. I think Lauren did a great job picking out these colors. And yeah, the shimmers almost feel like cream shadows. Like they're so soft. The mattes, I wouldn't say the mattes are like my favorite matte formula of all time, but they're very workable. They're definitely pigmented. I think they just take a little bit of work to blend, but I really don't mind them at all. But I definitely think the shimmers are my favorite part of this palette. So that was $42, and that includes like tax and shipping and everything. So that was actually my biggest, my most expensive purchase of Q1 so far, but really happy with that. My next couple of orders were more like makeup tools. So these aren't items that are going to count towards like my makeup inventory, but I wanted to go ahead and count them towards my makeup purchases. So these were just some supplies for my depotting video that I did recently. I depotted my BH Lost in Los Angeles palette and my Shared Planet Polar Bear palette in that video, and I needed a couple of things to make that happen. So the first one was these. I put them in a different Ziploc bag because the one they came in like split open and they spilled all over the box that it came in. But these are those little magnetic stickers that I use. They're from the brand Z palette. I bought them on Beautylish, and that purchase was actually $12, which I know sounds like a lot for just some little metal stickers. But that also included like the shipping. I just went ahead and paid for shipping because there wasn't really anything else I needed or wanted from the website, so that's why I paid $12 for metal stickers. And then my other purchase for that video was a few new empty magnetic palettes from Shop Miss A, and I got one larger one. This is the one I ended up using for my Lost in Los Angeles palette. It's a little big. I'm probably going to rearrange things, but that's where those are living now. I love the cute floral design on there. I just think that's so pretty. And then I also got 2 smaller ones. These are more like 9 pan, or they fit like 9 standard metal pans. I got 2 because I knew I probably would want to have an empty palette to put my like any singles that I'm decluttering if I wanted to arrange a palette to give to someone else. So that's where I have these shades. These are some of the shades from my Shared Planet palette that I'm not keeping. So I'm probably not going to keep this empty palette, but that's what that was for. These were really inexpensive, like $4 for these smaller ones. And then in this one, I put my other Shared Planet shades that I am keeping. So those 3 palettes all totaled to $16. I think that's pretty good for 3 magnetic palettes. If you're looking for good, like affordable empty palettes, Shop Miss A has some really good ones, and they feel really well made too. And they have some really cute patterns. So that was what I got from there. I did purchase some other things from Shop Miss A, but they weren't makeup. So just those magnetic palettes totaled to $16. Then my last purchase of Q1 was from Ulta, and this just arrived yesterday, just in time for this video. So I did decide to get the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in the 21 Days of Beauty sale. That was also the day that the Persona blushes were on sale, but those all sold out. I think somebody said they sold out by like 8 a.m. that morning, so I didn't even have a chance because I'm also on the West Coast, so they probably sold out even before I would have woken up that day. So I was kind of glad about that because I was on the fence about buying it anyway, and so that just made my decision a lot easier. But I did decide to go ahead and get one of the Juicy Lip Plumps. I have the regular Juicy Lip, and I really like it. So I figured, you know, for basically a drugstore price, it was on sale for $12. I was like, let's go ahead and try that out. So I ended up getting the shade White Peach. This is what I have on right now over the Kokie lip liner in Nude. I have already worn this so much. I really do like it. The shade is gorgeous. It's a really pretty pale peach color. I really like it. It's not too orangey, it's not too just like bright in your face, really nice. I think I'll be wearing this a lot. I really like peachy lip colors, especially in the spring and summer. I just think they look so warm and beachy. So that's what I have on right now. Really loving it. It smells really good. Kind of coconutty, like a toasted coconut sort of scent. It does have a bit of a plumping tingle, kind of like a minty cooling sensation. I do feel like it makes my lips look more plump than they are. So I'm happy that I bought that. So far, no complaints there. And then also in that order, because I had just finished up my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, I got the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter to replace that. I did basically pay full price for this. I did use a $3.50 off coupon, like they always have one of those going on. So I got like a little bit off of this, but I also purchased a few non-makeup things like a hair straightener, a body wash. So that $3.50 off coupon, they kind of automatically spread it across your whole order. So according to my Ulta receipt, for these two products, I paid $25. So about $12 for this and then $13 for the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. And I did get the lightest shade of this. I was a little worried that it was going to be too dark because a few people said that this lightest shade was too dark for them. It is a bit warmer than I would normally go, but I wouldn't say it's too dark necessarily. Like, I think the shade itself works. It's just a little warmer than I would typically choose for myself, but because it's a sheer product, I don't really notice that warmth to it once it's blended out on my skin, so I'm happy with the shade. This I'm wearing today exactly the way I like to wear the Charlotte Tilbury product. I just have it on the high points of my face in place of foundation. I dot this on first, then I dot on my foundation, blend the whole thing out, and it just makes any foundation look so healthy. So far it's worked well with every foundation that I've paired it with. And I think it added just the right amount of luminosity to this foundation. Like I said, this foundation is a little bit matte, but these two together made a gorgeous combo. Yesterday, I actually tried this just as my foundation, like this was the only base product I had on, and that looked really beautiful as well. Definitely a bit shiny at first, but once I applied powder and everything, I thought my skin looked really healthy, luminous for sure, but not like I had just applied highlighter all over my face. And it did give some coverage. It was very lightweight. I felt like it looked very natural on my skin. So far I'm really happy with this purchase. I've only used it twice so far, but both times I really liked it. To me, compared to the Charlotte Tilbury product, it does the exact same thing. I think it looks beautiful on my skin, serves the same purpose, so for me it is definitely a cheaper dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. I think the shades are definitely different, like this lightest shade is darker than probably the lightest shade of the Charlotte Tilbury. So that was my Ulta order. Like I said, that Ulta order was $25 for those two makeup items. So those are all the purchases that I've made so far in 2023. I would say overall, I'm very happy with all of these purchases. I think they've all so far been working out really well for me. Let's talk about my purchase caps now. So I have so far only bought products in 4 categories: foundation, palettes, lip liner, and lipstick. I am counting this Tarte Juicy Lip as a lipstick because it is in a stick format. I wasn't sure whether to count it as a gloss or a lipstick, but to me, it's more of like a tinted lip balm, and I do count those in my lipstick category, so that's where I'm going to count it. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. And then the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, I decided to count this as a foundation. I wasn't sure whether to put it in the primer or foundation category, but for me, the way I use it most often is more as a base product, whether I mix it with foundation or, like I used it yesterday, just all over as my foundation. So I think it makes more sense to count it towards the foundation. So that means that I've purchased 2 foundations so far this year, and my purchase limit was 3. So I've already bought 2 out of 3 foundations I'm allowed to buy in just 1/4 of the year, so I better really not buy any more foundations for a while. I don't think I will need to because I have more than enough right now. I have a lot of foundation choices, and I think I have just about everything I could want in my foundation collection, so I don't think I'll be tempted to buy any new foundations anyway for a while. But I do need to keep an eye on that category. And then the next category I bought products in was eyeshadow palettes. And as you saw, I have bought 2 of these so far this year, the Wet n Wild Call Me Sunshine and the Oden's Eye SeaTalk. So I've bought 2, and my purchase limit was 5. So I've bought 2 out of 5. Basically that means if I buy just 1 palette for the next 3/4 of the year, I will still stay within that 5 palette limit. Then for lip liner, I've bought 1. I'm allowed to buy 3 this year, so I'm definitely on track there. And then for lipstick, I have bought 2, and I'm allowed to buy 8 this year. That was actually my largest purchase cap for the year, really just because I hardly bought any lipsticks last year, and I just wanted to give myself a little wiggle room there if I wanted to try some new shades or fill in any gaps in my lipstick collection with shades that I wanted to bring in. So I've bought 2, which means I'm actually perfectly on track there, because if I'm allowed to buy 8 lipsticks this year, that means 2 per quarter, and I did buy 2 in quarter 1. So that's good. Yeah, I'm really happy with where we are right now. Those are all of the categories that I've bought something so far this year. So towards my purchase tracking, I've bought 7 new items. I don't have a category for things like magnetic palettes or metal stickers. Those are really more like makeup tools. So those things don't count towards like my makeup inventory, and therefore I'm not counting them in my purchase tracking, but I did count them towards my spending, like the amount that I've spent. I also had given myself an alternative number to aim for the year if I strayed a little bit from these category specific purchase limits. I also wanted to give myself a total number of makeup products that I would be okay with buying this year. So if we add up all of my purchase caps, it totals to 60 items. I've now bought 7. That means I'm left with 53 more products that I could buy this year. I think it'll be lower than that. I think about 7 to 10 products per quarter is typically what I purchase. So I think I'm very well on track. A lot of these categories I didn't buy anything, so I'm really happy so far with my spending this year. Hopefully I can keep it about the same for the rest of the year. So that is where I am with my 2023 low buy so far. So I'm really pleased so far with how things are going. I did share my low buy spreadsheet template in my low buy intro, but I'll go ahead and link it below this video too if you want to do a similar low buy to what I'm doing, or you want to follow along. Feel free to use that template. I think that is everything for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. I hope you had fun. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye!